Our first witness for the emblematic cases is former parliamentarian Ariel Casilao, who is the current president of Anak Pawis, a sectoral party of the toiling masses. He will speak about the extrajudicial killing of Randall Echanis, a peace consultant of the NDFC. He will also speak about the impact of international humanitarian law violations to peasantry. The witness will testify in person, Your Honor. May I proceed to propound the questions?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. Witness, how did you know the victim Randall Karandi Echanis?
Your Honor, I have known Randall Echanis, or Karandi as we call him, since 2015. We worked closely together as we were elected. We were both elected as national officers of the Anak Pawis party list, or the Toiling Masses Party. I was elected as the national chairperson, while Karandi was elected as the national chairperson. I was elected as the national vice chairperson. Your Honor, Karandi is pivotal in formulating the legislative agenda of the party, especially on the areas of farmers, fisher folks, agricultural workers, and the rural poor. He has been instrumental in the crafting of laws, bills, like the Genuine Agrarian Reform Bill and the enactment of the Free Irrigation System Act, which was enacted in 2018. His long-time experience as a long-time peasant activist since the 70s or the 60s has been instrumental in serving to the rural communities, which he loved, which he served for almost more than half of his life. In 2016, Your Honor, when President Duterte resumed the peace negotiation between the government of the Republic of the Philippines and the National Democratic Front of the Philippines, Karandi was one of the consultants, especially on the Comprehensive Agreement on Socio-Economic Reforms agenda, a very important and substantive agenda of the peace negotiations between the GRP and the NDFP. In such capacity, Karandi significantly contributed in the formulation of the interim peace agreement on the agrarian reform and rural development. This was the meat of the agenda of CASER during that resumption of the negotiation. Considering Karandi's invaluable experience, a very rich experience in the Philippine peasant movement, when former President Duterte unilaterally terminated the peace negotiation in 2017 and launched an all-out war against the revolutionary movement, the political opposition, Duterte officially designated the Communist Party of the Philippines, the New People's Army, as terrorist organization. He also formally created the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or NTF-ELCA, responsible for red tagging, terrorist labeling, filing of trump-up charges of political opposition, activists, government critic, and including revolutionary movement.
Now, Mr. Witness, what happened to Karandi?
On August 10, 2020, in the wee hours of the morning, Karandi was brutally killed. along with his neighbor, Louis Tagapia, in his rented apartment. Karandi's neighbors in the neighboring apartment where Karandi rented heard commotions, cries for help from an old man. His belongings scattered. Forced entry was identified during the investigation. Your Honors, it must be noted that the death of Karandi happened during the height of COVID-19 pandemic. A period marked with stringent restrictions of movement by civilian persons. Only authorized government personnel or persons in authority are allowed to freely move during that period, since we are constrained in our respective residences. Karandi's autopsy report by a forensic expert showed evidently there were multiple stab wounds. In our counting, 40, Karandi suffered 40 stab wounds. A fractured skull as a result of a blunt force trauma, and a stab wound in the back, a crucial stab wound in the back that pierced to an artery of his heart. And a sharp metal like an ice pick remained intact inside his body.
What case, if any, has been filed in relation to the killing of Karandi?
Your Honor, it has been almost 4 years since the brutal killing of Karandi. No case has been filed. No perpetrators has been identified. While the government, few days after the brutal killing, created the task force Randall Echanis to look into the killing of Karandi. But after almost 4 years, a few months from now is the 4th year of the killing of Karandi, the status of the task force investigation is still under investigation.
Now, what was the impact of the untimely and brutal death of Karandi to the peasant movement in the Philippines?
Your Honor, the way, the barbarity, the brutality, the ruthlessness of killing of Karandi is a crystal clear violation to international humanitarian law and all existing human rights laws in the Philippines. This is because, let me emphasize, Karandi is an unarmed consultant to the National Democratic Front of the Philippines. He has no direct participation to any combat operations of the New People's Army or NDFP. He is a key figure in the peace negotiation. He has been a part since the first day of the resumption of the negotiation until Duterte unilaterally terminated the negotiation. These violations rooted in the enduring chronicle problem of landlessness and poverty in the rural areas. Furthermore, Your Honor, as explained by previous expert witness and resource person, the counterinsurgency operation, both by the previous administration of Duterte and the present administration of Marcos Jr., targets all, including unarmed civilians, activists, non-comparison between a combatant or a non-combatant. They all consider us enemies of the state. Since 2016 up to the present, the Philippine Peasant Movement documented 478 extrajudicial killings of peasant leaders and members of the different regional and provincial chapters of the peasant organizations. Hundreds of its leaders, regional and provincial, are incarcerated by trump-up charges or fabricated cases, filed by government agencies, especially the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. Thousands of farmer organization members and their leaders have been coercedly and forced to surrender or being presented by the military, by the authorities, by the NTF, LCAC as fake surrenderers or as members of the revolutionary movement or the New People's Army. This is under a well-financed, well-budgeted, enhanced, comprehensive local integration program or ECLIP that resulted to thousands, tens of thousands of farmers, legitimate members of organizations being presented as MPA leaders.
Aside from shedding truth on the extrajudicial killing of Karandi and the impact of IHL violations to the peasantry, Mr. Witness, why are you here before the International People's Tribunal today?
Your Honors, let me state your attention to the PowerPoint. These are figures, statistics, well documented by the Human Rights Watchdog Karapatan, a human rights alliance in the Philippines. These figures represents 90% victims comes from farmers, fisher folks, agricultural workers, or rural poor. They suffer mostly of the counterinsurgency programs, both in the previous and the present administration. These are clearly violations to international humanitarian law and human rights law. A damning evidence to pinpoint as the perpetrators government and state security forces under the direct command of the previous Commander-in-Chief, President Duterte, and the incumbent President Marcos Jr. Regrettably, Your Honor, the existing judicial system in the Philippines failed the families, the relatives of these victims, these statistics. Little to no hope since there are no cases filed, especially in the case of Randy Echaniz, Randy Malayo, a colleague, a peace consultant that suffered the same fate, the same manner of killing, a brutal killing. And hundreds of the victims of extrajudicial killings from the ranks of farmers, fisher folks, and agricultural workers remains to be unresolved. No cases were filed. Precisely, Your Honor, this tribunal offers an alternative to expose the current failures of the existing judicial mechanisms and help us seek justice to the families for the families of the victims and to hold into account Mr. Duterte, Marcos Jr., and the U.S. government. Thank you, Your Honor.
We have no further questions for the witness, Your Honors.